fucking.
Did everything come out all right?
No, I have a continuation tonight at 2. Cheers, friend.
3 seats down here. Alkali Citrine, my fine gentlemen, come down here. We shall take our seats.
My friend Erner, would you mind bringing a 4th chair? We're going to
And
have a 4th person,
my friend Erner. Okay,
Yeah, my friend
Erner.
Erner.
To understand
Guys,
that.
Chris the Comedy Bunny is going to be joining us, helping out with this panel.
Oh, go next to Chris.
If you are not aware, Chris will be doing amateur hour tomorrow night before Celebrity Who's Line. If you have a moment, come on in, see the up-and-comers in the fandom.
Look, turn around.
Turn.
Look down.
I see.
By your right foot. No, turn around. Here.
What? Okay.
Right. See it?
No,
It's a penny.
I know something is there. I know something is there. Something is definitely
I don't
there.
see it.
Where this is going?
So do you.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's how this works.
Here's how this is working.
We call this open mic.
Are we opening mic?
No. Yes, actually. Okay.
A new one.
Oh my.
We have here comedians. We're comics. We're funny men. This is what we do. Have you ever wondered how would I do on stage in front of an audience? It's a very, very difficult thing. If you go to a comedy club, you've got a very hostile audience. This is the opportunity to take a very friendly audience, a very supportive audience. Come up here, try your stuff. You have 3 extremely talented and fatally inebriated comics who are very, very inebriated.
And Kage.
And Citrine,
Inebriated and blind. This is
who
worse.
right now he can probably see better than any of us.
True.
Should I do my Mr. Magoo impersonation? No, that's for another. Okay. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to be singing. Oh, I'm sorry. There's the funny.
Yeah, Chris.
Chris Funny. Yeah, hi.
He is part of that show, that thing that I talked about earlier. I'm trying to figure out my stop clock.
Alkali, it's often more common to plug something at the end of the show, not at the beginning. But
I love plugs. Male plugs are fun. Female plugs are tasty.
Moving right along. What we're going to do is we are going to this is your opportunity. We're going to say who would like to try it. We're going to give you 3 minutes. It might be a plus or minus, depending. We're going to hand you the microphone, and you're going to come up here in these wonderful spotlights, and you're going to do your thing. It doesn't matter what your thing is. If it's creative, if it's entertaining, go for it. We are not here to judge. We are here to offer encouragement and feedback, which means this is a no heckling zone. If you have comments on somebody's performance, keep them to your fucking self, all right? We are here to encourage people. We are not here to tear them down.
Now, Kage, have you done the do's and don'ts?
I started, now it's your turn. Would you like the microphone?
Nope.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's what's about to happen. You're all aware of what an open mic is. We're going to give you a few pieces of advice right off the bat. First off, when we finish, we will give you a little critique. We are not here to tear you down. We are not here to build you up. We're just going to give you some of our observations. Take them or leave them. Everything that we state is an opinion, and if you want to tell us to go fuck ourselves, please feel free to do so. We usually do that at about 3 a.m. while crying.
Because we're old and nobody has sex with us.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, most of us are old and nobody has sex with us.
Sometimes Citrine goes to bed early. So, number 2, some of you are going to come up here and tell stories, and that is wonderful. Myself, Uncle Kage, we are storytellers. We love to hear a good story. I'm going to give you an early piece of advice, and please remember this, because this is the downfall of so many storytelling comedians. No matter how good the story is, no matter how glorious the punchline is, don't forget, you need to get us to the punchline. We're giving you 3 minutes up here. If it's a 3-minute story with the most killer punchline imaginable, it's still just going to be an average set, because you need to keep your audience engaged. We call it punch-up. If you're going to come up here and tell a story, don't forget descriptions, random factoids, just the way you talk, the way you present yourself. Remember, you are here to entertain the audience. Tell your story. Tell it true. Tell it true to yourself, but keep the audience engaged. And the easiest way to do that is by throwing jokes in the middle of the entire thing, to joke with us along the way. The description, I was in a room that was as dark as night. Really? Just dark as night? There's so many other things. The room was so dark it looked like an octopus came all over my glasses. Now that's a description of as dark as night. And finally, the last one, and I'm just going to say this is the personal preference. It might not be agreed with. Guys, this is the wrong venue for shock humor. If you come up here with racist humor, if you come up here with angry humor, it's not going to work out. Why? Because none of us are good enough to do that style of humor. And two, that style of humor works better with the energy of the room. Daniel Tosh does not tell his jokes to a small bar full of people. Daniel Tosh goes out there and tells his jokes to so many people that the few people that do laugh make it okay for the rest of the audience to laugh. Energy is a main thing. We have a great audience right here, but this is not the crowd to do shock humor. I don't want to hear racist jokes, and I definitely don't want to hear us making fun of others. Guys, just stay away from that. It's a very hard thing to do. If you think you can, best of luck. I will tell you right now, you can't. I can't, he can't, we can't. Don't do it.
That includes political humor.
It
There's
does.
plenty of that in CNN right now. Let's leave it there, okay?
Without having to laugh at it. That was my bit. What do you got?
One small piece of advice. Don't be afraid. It's really small stuff, but it can be a big deal. Make sure your hands don't wind up in your pocket, unless it's like for a bit. But like keep your hands open, be open to the audience. Make sure your body posture is open like this, and eat the mic. You gotta
Excuse
eat
me?
the mic. Eat.
I mean, like,
Yeah, there you go. Really. There it is. There it is.
If you would like to hear why this gentleman here, during somebody's set, sat in the front row doing this, the entire goddamn time, show up to a story hour on Sunday. You'll love it.
basically, okay, you see this thing? It only hears you at this point. Hold it here. The audience has to hear you. Don't hold it here, don't hold it here. It's got to be here. Pretend you're sucking it off.
100%.
All of you should be extremely good at that, okay?
That's stereotyping and funny. Wow. The final thing is, don't forget, we just said that you will be up here for 3 minutes before we get up. Here's the few things you need to know. At 3 minutes, one of us will stand up and stand to the side of the stage. Normally, we will let you finish your thought. If it goes on too long, we will step up and stop you. Why? Because everyone deserves a chance to get up on stage when we only have so much time. And number two, if you want to come up here and tell a knock-knock joke and then sit down, do it. You don't need to go the full 3 minutes. Don't think you need to wait for us to stand. If you are done, take your bow. We will talk. We're done.
Yep.
Anything else?
I want to emphasize, the person on stage is the performer. We don't want to hear your comments. You are not here to join in. Keep that in mind. We are looking at the person up here. It's very, very common. Somebody's up and all of a sudden somebody like adds their own little bit. Okay, you'll have your turn. That's called heckling. Don't do that.
It's one thing when you do it to myself, to Uncle Kage. We pitch this as one of the greatest audiences out there, and I would like to keep it that way. We are furries. Let's enjoy what we each have to say. We'll have our time to yell things at the audience later, and that time is called Who's Line. We good?
I'm good.
Yep. All right,
So,
hey,
here's
your
what we're
first,
gonna
buddy.
do. Okay, I don't know if we have any, oh, okay. I'll tell you what. You want some time up here, raise your hand.
They're brave.
How about you, the gentleman in the incredibly nice black coat?
They're brave. They
Thank
always
you.
go first.
Come up here.
What's your name?
What
How
would
would
you
you like, and how would you
Your
like to
name?
be introduced?
Take this. No.
Do that one. Okay.
I am Rhaegar of the Ferengi.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Rhaegar of the Ferengi!
Good evening, humans.
Yes.
It is so good to see you all. sitting. Though your women are clothed, I don't know why that is. That's really weird to me. But I come from the Ferengi with a proposition. No, a deal. This deal involves your precious points. With me in this satchel, in this very bag, I have what you humans call candy. For every point you give to the Ferengi, you will get 2 pieces of candy, no more and no less. Do we have a deal?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for true performance art, our Ferengi counterpart.
What we saw there was basically character acting. The gentleman slipped into the role of a character, and he had me believing that he was a loathsome, disgusting, money-grubbing Ferengi.
Sexy Ferengi. I'm a Jew. Ferengis are sexy.
There's Benny on stage.
That's right.
All right, thank you very much. So, the gentleman here with
Oh, sexy boy.
yes,
Let's go,
sexy. Get up here, get up here.
Sexy boy. How would you like to
How would you like to introduce?
Captain.
Do the honors?
Can I be able to get somebody to report me, actually?
Oh,
Yes, Captain, right over here. Aye, Captain.
We got one over here. Thank you. Though.
Captain,
Shall we?
this is your microphone. Go for it.
The captain takes the stage. Everybody, as we always start, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Captain!
Hello, everybody. My name is Captain DTSW, also known as Captain Detisua. Recently, though, I've been called Captain down to suck wiener because I needed a way to get here. So, a lot of shit kind of happened to me in the last few months. I did just get promoted at my job, and the general manager at my job asked me, "So you ever do any drugs?" And I just kind of looked at him like, "What, you mean like today?" I did end up catching my girlfriend cheating on me in a pretty weird way. So when we were going at it one night, she started screaming another man's name. I don't know who the hell Rape is, but he needs to settle down. So a lot of people don't know this, but I'm asexual, and what's cool about being asexual is, like, everyone will tell you how sexy someone is, and then you see them and they're a dog. Now, I know you're all furries, so imagine you're a cat person and you see that dog. So even though I am asexual, I do like to think everything I do ends with the phrase, "That was the best sex I ever had." So if I wave my hand out, I would love for everybody to say, "That was the best sex I ever had." I went for a walk in the park.
That was the best sex I ever had.
I was stuck in prison for a few months.
That was the best sex I ever had.
I went fishing with my dad. I'm going to shut up now. So I did end up going fishing with my dad at Lake Superior back in June. We boated out about an hour, 2 hours in. We were fishing for a good 2-3 hours. On the way back, our boat ran out of gas, and it sucked. We had to paddle our way back, and we were literally hitting the water just inches off. So after about 15-20 minutes of paddling, it just wasn't working. I did the next best thing, and I stabbed him, and he's still dead somewhere out there. Good luck finding him. Going back to how miserable my year's been, I did end up having to babysit my little cousins. They're 5 and 7, and I've never seen someone have this much energy in my entire fucking life. Running around, bolting in circles, just going back and forth, screaming like morons. It's 3 in the goddamn morning. I'm trying to get some sleep. They've been at it since noon. 3 in the goddamn morning. I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. They have to go to bed. So I took the blunt end of a knife and started knocking out their teeth. And after like the 5th or 7th tooth, they started to fall asleep.
That's the best sex I ever had.
I'd be glad if absolutely nobody said anything about that. So it's great to be back on stage. I've been doing comedy now for close to 6 years, and I've been going to do open mic comedy at a few bars. And the few things I do love to do is prank calling on stage, or the sentence game, where I'll point to somebody, they'll give me a word, point to them, they'll give me a word. And I had an incident at this bar in Lakewood, which is about 20 minutes away from Cleveland, where I never wanted to do it again. So I was like, all right guys, we're gonna play the sentence game, summary. We're gonna point to people, they're gonna give me a word, and I said, mine. Pointed out, heard, slave! Okay. Is fucking black. All right, So now that's out of the way, I'll give you one last joke. It's a little bit of a long one, so bear with me. Just go with it. The other night, I woke up, took a shit, and I'll take your applause now.
You were giggling.
What do you got?
So yeah, I do have to.
Yep.
So I'll be honest with you. I found it hilarious because you did exactly what is right. It's clear you were comfortable up there, and even through the slightly shocking moments, you were on that line, but you had the audience with you, and you knew how to keep the jokes consistent. That's what I liked, honestly.
And it sucks that you're asexual, because I wouldn't kick you out of my bed for eating crackers, okay?
Sorry, alkaline.
You got a lot of people eating crackers in your bed?
All at once, yes.
So I'll give you guys 2 guesses to what he named his dick. All right, the next person. Middle of the crowd, right here. Yep. You have your hand raised. What's your name? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. How would you like to be introduced?
Barrett.
Say it again.
Who?
Barrett.
How about you introduce yourself?
Sure, I can do that.
Sure. Yell it out.
Are you French?
No, he's awesome.
I'll get to that. I'll just that, actually.
Hi everyone, my name's Barrett. A little bit about myself. I was originally brought up in Mason, Ohio. Nobody up in Mason, Ohio sounds like this. So a little bit about that. German on my dad's side and Scottish on my mom's side. Jewish, if you will. Now, my dad, he doesn't have an accent whatsoever, yet I sound like I recently came from overseas, so what are you going to do? But, a few cons ago, earlier in the year, this year, I was introduced to Fox and Peppers. Never heard of them, got to see them live. Excellent duo, great energy, real fun people in general. One of the Peppers, as soon as I saw him, I looked over to my partner as we were watching, and I was like, is it just me, or is he the not Chris Pratt?
God.
like, I'm talking Chris Pratt as Andy from Parks and Recreation. Just that same energy and that enthusiasm, it was uncanny to me. So every time we see him, or he's even brought up now, we just, oh yeah, they're not Chris Pratt. But, one of the more infamous songs that they do, Suit Up. I'm sure everyone here is familiar with it. Do. But, it was starting like usual, and then out of nowhere, we heard someone in particular in the crowd decide to do a little Little John improv with it. So go do. What? Do. Yeah. Do. Okay. And it just went on like normal the rest of the way. But as soon as we finished hearing that, my partner and I just give each other that look like, God damn it, Alkaline. You remember doing that?
I was drunk!
You're always drunk.
Shut up! Continue, my friend.
Let's see, what else we got here? Wind Fair. Been to the Wind Fair a couple times now. Yeah. We have some time. We have fun laid back time. Very enjoyable. We were helping out a friend of ours out there who was a vendor there. He had a little mining station set up where he had a mill of water running, and you could mine for gemstones, and you could just take home whatever gemstones you came across. Stuff like emeralds, amethysts, quartz, that sort of thing. During the time I was helping him out, and we were just trying to sell, make money and all that, in comes the parade. And the guy with the giant Scottish traditional hand drum, just a big old fuck all hand drum, he decided to go ham with the crazy train drum beat. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. And then without missing a beat, I just chime in with, I. And the guy I'm helping out looks over at me a couple minutes and is like, dude, not gonna lie, I nearly facepalmed myself when I heard you chime in with that. And without missing a beat, I'm just like, oh yeah, you were about to facepalm yourself over that. Coming from the same guy with every other person ask how his day's going, with a handful of assorted gemstones, mind you. Your response, oh, you know, rocking it. To which he's like, you right. That's all from me.
That's my otter.
Let me make very clear right now, there's an old trick called knowing your audience. You knew your audience on that. That was wonderful. Keeping the stories within the fandom brings us all closer to the story, and I loved how you did that. That was really fun. Watch your punch-up. You got good stories there. Keep us involved as you're going in, because that's really fun. I want to see you on the stage again. I want to hear similar stories, and I want to hear it with your interpretation of the events. Because the events themselves are fun. But if you punch it up as you go, you have a solid set there, and that's really fun. I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
And also, pay attention to the delivery. This might sound nitpicky, but the audience picks up on it. You use the phrase without missing a beat 4 times in the 3-minute set. It's a tiny little thing, but little details like that stick with the audience. Be cognizant of.
Okay.
Like the word anyway.
I'm sorry, do you need guys? Mr. Bunny, Mr. Citrine, have you anything to add?
Guys.
I really appreciate your pacing. A common problem for like stand-up comedians that are starting out is they often talk too fast. And you actually do have a really good pace. It's even keel and it's really solid. It's just about, all I would really suggest for you is, exactly that. Just focus on your punch up and just fucking work it to a fine edge and just slit everyone's throat with comedy.
Give me that guy. Yes, Citrine.
Citrine, just
Without
murder
talking
everyone.
about murder, okay?
It's slaying on stage. It's a thing.
Dude, I'm killing it.
Yes.
I'm killing everyone.
It is
Citrine, yes.
And you get a slash, and you get a slash, and you get a slash.
For the record, it's not murder if I do it, it's an accent. Anyway, so I would, no.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
So I will say that I was hooked and drawn in to begin with because you did something that honestly I do a little too much. You joke about yourself a little bit to begin with. Pulling your audience in is a great way to start your performance.
Thank you very much.
One more time. Let's go to this side of the room. Who wants to be next? Who wants to be next over on this side of the room?
This gentleman in the front who brought booze because he is.
Oh, he brought us booze?
So he gets 4 minutes.
I get 4 minutes?
That's it. You get 4 minutes because you gave me there. You take the.
No, hold on. That's the microphone that's cutting out. Switch.
Yeah.
How would you like to be introduced?
Condad.
What?
Say it again.
Nah, take that one.
Condad.
Okay, this is.
You gotta take the cork off.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
I don't know how many
Sans mic. I want the back of the room to hear you.
Yeah.
enough.
Okay,
Got it.
that's
For
fine.
the last few, I don't know how many years, I've been trying to go as Alex Hagley, because that's my name, okay? That's how I do this. And then you all just started to label me as Condad, and I rode with it because I like it. But anyway, that's not what the story's about. See, I am a man that loves my lover. And the thing is, I try to be crafty. I try to be romantic and different and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to spill this if I keep holding it. I've already done that with my arm. Anyway, so I was making a collar for somebody that wasn't my girlfriend. In fact, she was in a relationship because I'm a horrible bastard. But the thing is she totally was into me. It was the whole master pet thing. And so I took an old belt, and I did real good on this, don't get me wrong. I took some scissors, I snipped it off, I checked around her neck,
make holes with thumbtacks, made sure it didn't stab her neck. It was all good. So, mind you, a week before, The Walking Dead had just started, and it was the season where Rick's like taking a knife to the belt, and he's like, "We haven't had food in a while, so I'm gonna put a hole in the belt so I can make a notch." And I was like, "Man, that seems fucking easy." So I take the collar, and I've got this big Bowie knife. It's this big, and I'm moving it on the table, and it's got 2 fucking holes, and I'm like, "All right, cool." And I take the prongs, they're not fitting, and I'm like, "All right, cool." So I set the belt on my hand. I got the Bowie knife. First hole, no, the first hole was fine. Second hole, I do more gingerly than the first one. And the knife goes through. And I go, "Whew, that missed, thank God." And I see in my finger, there's a nice, very deep cut, and I go, "Shouldn't that be bleeding?" And then blood. I go, "This is fine." And she's just on the bed, blindfolded, tied up, like, "Is everything okay?" And I go, "Yeah, give me a second." And I'm rushing around my room, this dirty ass room, it's got a bunch of shit, and I'm like, okay, something, stop the blood, Alex, come on, think. I find a little wristband kind of like this, it's a little latex thing, and I wrap it, and my finger's purple. Don't do this. Because the more I'm rushing around, and the more I'm freaking the fuck out, like, "Oh God, am I gonna bleed to death?" I'm starting to see TV static. And I'm talking old 90s box TV, there's no channel static, so it's just getting fuzzier by the second. You're dying in your video game raid, like, yeah, it's over, you're done. And I rush downstairs, I grab a Coke, because I'm thinking, "Oh man, blood, sugar, I'll get the blood up. No, I'll be fine." And my mother's like, "What's wrong?" And I go, "Ah!" And I rush up the stairs, and I'm like, okay, idea. Think, drink, okay, think. Rubbing alcohol, I need to clean it, and I just doused my hand in fucking rubbing alcohol. And I'm like, "Paradise eternal, look brightest forever!" So I grab a lighter, because I'm like, "I'll cauterize it, that's a good idea." I light it, and I'm right there, and I'm like, "That's stupid, no!" So I throw the lighter away. And I go back into the room, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I go, "I'm going to untie you. I think I need to go to the hospital." And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I cut myself trying to make your collar. Fun fact." So she's like, "Oh my God, I'll get Jack. He's in the basement. Don't worry." So she runs downstairs to the basement, and I'm hobbling just down the stairs, and I sit in the armchair my mother is in, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I go, "I cut myself. I was playing with a knife." Because I don't want to tell my mother I was making a collar for somebody that I'm not dating. How fucking weird is that going to sound? Let's be fair here. So, mind you, my hair was way longer, my beard was longer, so a few minutes later, I'm sitting in this chair. Bree has come back with Jack, and I'm sitting like from church, just Jesus Christ of Nazareth, just in this chair, just dying, bleeding. Mother Mary right there, Whore of Nazareth right there, and fucking Joseph right there. And it was beautiful. It was a wonderful day. And fun fact, that's how you go into shock.
All right, everybody, give it up for Conde! All right, dude. First off, I love you. No, dude. Okay, first off, the first thing I want to compliment you on is you used the stage. It's not I mean, you were mostly just pacing, but you actually had a lot of really, the way you were describing the knife, the use of your hands, and the use of the overall stage was it's a good thing. It's not something that a lot of people think to do. But no, that was a fucking big plus for me. And like, you had one story, but it had multiple parts, and it had a really solid move. It fucking transitioned perfectly. It was really, really good, and I really liked it, man. You did a great job with only one song. One story. I can talk. I'm a little bit.
I would dearly love to get some criticism, but I don't have it. That was complex, multi-level, and I'm sitting here thinking, dude, you did all that when your mom was
That was exactly what I was thinking. That is exactly what I'm thinking. Mom, if there's any criticism I can give, that's it right there. The fact that you were doing all this That should be one of your punchlines. That could be a huge hit. That your mom was in the house the whole time that this was happening. 'Cause that was
yes,
glorious.
that's the bombshell.
Yes.
Dan, that was good.
That was
good.
really fun. So great-
Dude.
Just like them, I have no critique. My only thing to say is I do applaud you because it takes a true performer to paint a picture, and I could visualize what you were talking about, which is something. Shut up. It painted a picture that was very interesting, and then the picture went to static when you said your mom was in the house. So
One more time for Condam. Very well done, dude. Very well done. When you're all the way in the back corner, my dear, have you ever joined on stage?
Oh, instead.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh! How would you like me to introduce you?
Sloth, Mom, of course.
All right, go on, bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am... Guys, I am so excited right now. Let's hear it for Sloth!
So this morning, I think I got the bad one.
Oh, switch.
Take this.
Right now.
So this,
Just straight.
okay. So this morning,
There you
I
go.
got onto the elevator, and there was two cute little ladies of older persuasion, and they're looking at us. I have the ears on, and I asked, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, oh, we just came back from going to the Creation Museum, and they went to Noah's Ark. And I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. And she's like, what are you doing here? So I said, oh, it's just a bunch of friends that all hang out together. We have a lot of fun, and we raise a lot of money for charity. That's all she needed to know. So then she's like, and what are all these eggs that are hiding out all over the place? And I said, oh, they're just free. You can take one. And she's like, good. I want to take one home to my grandchildren. And I'm like, okay, go ahead. Wait a second. So a few minutes later, it kind of clicked. She's taking it to her grandchildren. There is a website on there that takes you back to the confines, which takes you back to the furry website. These grandchildren are going to say, oh my God, my grandma went to a furry convention. That's it. That's all I have.
Guys, one more time, let's give it up for Sloth! Here's the beauty of that. That was true, that was honest, that was you going up on stage and telling something about yourself, and that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. There's no critique that I have. That was just beautiful. Also, I cannot wait to see those hate emails flowing. My grandson is happy now. Sloth Mom, thank you so much. One more time for Sloth Mom! Going back over to this side, right in the front. Come on up, my friend. How would you like to be introduced?
Bo is mine.
Bo, B-O?
B-E-A-U, but it's pronounced the same.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Bo!
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and other. I'm Bo Jackal, or as the ladies call me, that's him, officer. I'm new to this area. I've just started going to cons around here. I've been to like 30 cons, so I really felt like I had the lay of the land. But I've come to realize they were all East Coast cons or West Coast cons. So I come to a Middle Coast con, and I'm like, oh no, I have overlooked all these people my entire life. And I feel really terrible. But I am here now, and I'm from here now. I recently uprooted my whole life to move to a job near Toledo. Got hired by a power plant there. And they went bankrupt 3 months after hiring me. Or rather, they declared bankruptcy. We're still figuring it out, but it's a dynamic I'm used to. I had a relationship like that once. You know, showed up to her place and she was like, hey, I'm completely out of money. I'm dodging a ton of creditors and I have no idea how this is gonna go. I'm like, okay, glad to know where I stand.
Jesus.
You know? And that's how they were. They were just like, hey, good news. You've been here long enough to qualify for severance. And people at work, the other people are acting like everything's normal. Like, oh yeah, so you're gonna buy a place? You're gonna like get to know some local people? And that's like, I'm sitting at the poker table with a handful of coasters from the bar and a green skip turn from Uno, and they're like, how much money are you gonna put down? Let's keep this gravy train a-rolling. I don't know why I'm rolling dice because we're playing poker, but like maybe that's how they went bankrupt. Brought dice to the poker table. It's not a good move. So, yeah, that's my whole thing. I can't believe I'm up here. Like, usually I will spend forever preparing a set and get everything perfect, and there will be so many people that want to go that I will get my chance. And I respond to that in the mature way by resenting it for the rest of my life and never preparing a set ever again. So I think that your experience is kind of similar to my experience right now because neither one of us knows what I'm going to say next because I didn't prepare anything. I left straight from work and got here like 10 minutes ago. So I'm just like, yeah, let's do the thing. Let's talk to these people. I'll just make a terrible impression on all these Ohio people. That way it's only up from there. So, let me know how that goes. Thank you all very much.
Hey, bro, level with me. You've done this before, haven't you?
I've done a couple open mics.
I thought so.
Only like 3 out of 4 were too busy.
Okay, you've done it before because you fucking owned that stage. That was incredible. Dude, thank you very much. Okay, he's cheating. He's a fucking professional, okay?
Cheers. Fucking well
He
done.
kept it moving, he kept the pace going, you never broke it, and you didn't give us a chance to breathe. That's wonderful.
That was really good.
What?
I love Middle Coast.
Middle Coast.
Middle Coast. I've been to the West Coast. So here I'm in the East Coast. Like, that's not how anything. You are amazing.
Middle Coast fucking
You could have said.
Middle Coast is the best word ever.
Bo, you rock. I want to hear another hand for this gentleman. I see this cute little padded paw raised in the air there, this little snappy looking thing. Yeah, you. If you want to come up here. Okay, mind your step going up on stage. Oh, wait.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry, my bad.
I love this person. Oh, that's your arms. Never mind. Okay. How would you like to be introduced? Cheese Nip? Sure, that's your choice. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheese Nip.
Not one.
Who's there?
Nobody.
Nobody who?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I love cheese nips.
That's my YouTubers.
Dude, that was 18 seconds.
That was 18 seconds of solid comedy. I liked it. That was really tight. You really polished it.
Yeah, no, that was a tiny teen. I have like a loose 40. He had a tiny teen.
Is anybody else getting an erection from this?
Of course you would get an erection over loose 40s.
I would rather.
Yeah, that's right. You slowly trail off your sentence, old man.
You do it.
You do it.
Do it.
All right, we're going to go to the back of the room over here. I've got one dead center. Yes. Yep. A man after my own heart. He's bringing a drink to the stage. How may I introduce you?
16-bit Barrett.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, a fellow Barrett, let's hear it for 16-bit Barrett!
So I'm going to be turning 30 this year, and up to this point before, like a few weeks ago, I have been just dreading it for some reason. So recently, I got a new phone, new number. Nobody has my number. I get a random call. I see it's from Pittsburgh, so I think, hey, good times, Anthrocon. So I answer it, like, hello, like, hi, I'm Alex from the, the Social Security Department, and I'm like, I just take the phone from my ear, and like, I'm not even 30 yet, you jerk! And then, minus a few words, I pick up like, hello? Click. The only time I've ever had somebody hang up on me. So yeah, these past couple of years have been quite interesting. My other half, I've got my own dog for the first time, never had a dog of my own. So I had to walk back and forth to work for a while and stuff. He picks me up, I look back at the car, like, oh, who is this? Like, that's Christmas. I'm like, oh. He's like, and by the way, Christmas shit in the car. And boy, that dog of mine, oh my God, I don't know how he does some of the things he does. So in the 2 months of us having him, we managed to leave him unsupervised for 5 seconds. 5 seconds. He somehow comes upstairs and comes back downstairs. He has something blue in his mouth. I'm thinking, oh, he found one of his toys and stuff. I take a closer look. He's got a hold of our David. The bad dragon David. And I'm like, how did you get this boy? So, yeah, that was quite the interesting thing. So, despite being the fandom for a while, my first convention was AC 2015. And that set a really high bar, by the way, Kage. Very high bar. And so for my first convention, I get to meet some friends for the first time ever. So yay, awesome. Little do I know, some of them are pranksters. So my buddy Kia, she knows her boyfriend is afraid of spiders. So she gets our friend Rex in on this joke, and they get a giant spider that's remote controlled. Well, problem is their remote control's broken. So they hide it in one of the drawers. So he opens it, freaks out on cam. It is hilarious as it can be. So later on, she's like, I'm going to hide it in the bed. She forgets it's in the bed. Needless to say, they are both terrified. So later on the next year and stuff, I had for reality for the first time and stuff, and I see Uncle Kage. At this point, he's like a celebrity in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's at this small freaking con here. And I keep telling myself, don't say, do you remember me? Do not say, do you remember me? And like me and my ADD, I forget what I think, and I'm like, hi, do you remember me? And he's like, no, unfortunately, I remember those who cause problems for me, and that's it. And I was like, why? Why did I do this to myself? And that's really all I got, man.
So right as he said, and that's all I've got, my phone switched over to 3 minutes. One more time. That was wonderful. My friend, the only piece of advice I had toward you is you've got the jokes, you've got the set, you've got the monologue. Keep expanding on them. When you told me, he's like, I don't even know how the dog got that. I really wanted to know how you thought the dog got your bad dragon dildo. Expand on that. Keep your jokes going, because that was really fun. You've got some good stories in there. Once again, we're going to go back to punch up. You need those jokes in the middle. You need those jokes at the end. You did really well. I really appreciated that. Give us a little bit more of that comedy strewn about it, and that's going to be one hell of a story. Also, I love it when you make fun of Uncle Kage. One more time, thank you so much. You're introducing yourself. I'm going to grab it.
Astute of you to notice that. They call me the Doctor. I go by many different names in many different forms, but tonight you guys can call me Glitch. So, I hate to ask this, do you mind if I borrow your guitar for like 2 seconds?
Go for it.
I don't know why I even asked that. I don't know how to play guitar for crap. Anyway, you might know this guy I know, Kage, and if you don't, you'd want to know him. name's Jeremiah. He's a bullfrog.
God
Very
damn!
good friend of mine, very free with the wine. But well, I went to the bank one day. And I was at the bank. And Jeremiah walks in. Well, hops in. I don't want to be stereotypical about it, but boy, that man can hop. Anyway, so he hops up to my favorite bank advisor there and begins his little spiel. He says, excuse me, ma'am. I would like to get a loan. And so she looks down. You're a frog. She says, yes, I am. And I'd like to get a loan. She says, I've never done this before. What are you looking for a loan for? She says, I only need $300. She's like, well, do you have any collateral? And I watch Jeremiah go, hold on one moment. Hop right back out the door. And now I'm invested at this point. My friend's in the bank. Completely weird situation. I'm like, what does he need money for? So he hops back in with a trophy. And this trophy is made of gold. It's a trophy of a little frog. And it's eating flies. And apparently won some fly eating contest somewhere. I mean, he's good with his tongue. But anyway. So he hops up to the desk. And that's about the time I notice that the lady's name is Miss Whack. Well, so he hops up there, gets up on the chair again, says, here you go, here's my collateral. She says, I have no idea what to do with this. Hold on, let me get the bank manager. Calls him out, he comes out and says, wait, so he needs a loan. He gave you this. It's a knick-knack, paddywhack, give the frog a loan! I know it's long, it's runner, but, and sometimes you forget some of your jokes when you're running around in an extra-dimensional space for years and years and years and years.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we in business call a shaggy dog story. The only downside was my dad told that to me in 1971, so I saw it coming.
Oh, yes, I do.
But still, if you can keep the audience guessing.
True.
And there was something else I was going to say, but it's in the glass of wine right now. Citrine!
Yes.
You know, say some words, because I have to drink.
Also pick the next person.
Yes, point to the,
Don't mind.
randomly point in the audience and the, well,
Right. Here's how we're going to do this. We're going to do this together, all right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to point, and then you direct my finger to go where you want it to go. That's a good spot.
That's the guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's got his.
Okay, you're pointing at me.
No, it's the guy holding up his 8 fingers.
Are you fingering the correct person?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, you asshole! Get up here. Yeah, you.
Don't call our performers assholes!
Sorry. Hey, you. Get up here.
No. Erner.
Oh, it's a historian guy. I remember this.
I'm sorry. You have to be more specific. I'm about as blind as Citrine.
Oh, really?
Is this a
You
contest now?
can't
No.
see, you have no idea what I'm doing? Is that?
I have no peripheral vision. That's right.
Wow.
That's right. I'm about as blind as Batman. That's right. I said it. Batman's a fucking terrible driver.
No wonder he couldn't tell you were fingering him.
Citrine, his
What?
name is Erner. Go ahead and
Ladies
give
and
me
gentlemen, give it up for Erner!
So hello everyone. My name is Leonard. Some of you may know I am the artist who does too much shit for charity, but who gives a fuck about that? Would you guys like to hear the story of how Fur Affinity terrified me out of my own house one day? Okay, like it or not, we're going to tell this story. So, I have a little ritual that I like to go through at least 2 or 3 times a week. Some of you may know that engagement on Fur Affinity isn't very high. You're likely to get a lot of views, but almost never get any comments, maybe a favorite or 2. And even if you do get comments, it's usually something like, wow, nice work, or I really like the boobs on this one. It's almost never something constructive. So, every morning, or at least as often as I can, I like to go on there and leave something constructive. But one morning, this backfired on me pretty hard. See, in order to see everything on Fur Affinity, you have to have all the filters turned off. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, I turn on Fur Affinity,
as I'm scrolling lazily through all the submissions, BAM! Right in my face. A giant ass. And what's coming out of it? There's a big, long turd. Not just any turd. This is the Olympic champion of caramel brown turds dropping straight out of the ass into the toilet like the job prospects of a historical furry who majored in history and tried to minor in art and then failed. And I'm staring at this thing. I'm terrified. And I'm disgusted. And so I have to click on it. I mean, you guys know, I'm a historian. I have to know. There's a picture of poop on the internet. Coming out of an ass. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. How many people have seen this poop? Is it just a single picture of poop? Or did somebody just get a wild hair up their ass and say, I want to put some shit on the internet? Or is there an entire gallery full of poop? Are there comments about the poop? Does the poop have favorites? And so I click on the image, and my hand to God, in 15 minutes, it had gained 10 favorites and 75 views. And I had an existential crisis. I sat there, looking at this thing. And Fur Affinity has instituted this wonderful policy where you can see previews from the rest of the gallery along there, and I got an eyeful of all of the other, let's call it, exceptional excrement. And I couldn't take it anymore. I got up out of my chair, I walked downstairs, I put on my running shoes, and I'm muttering to myself, I can't take this. Oh, that thing is so nasty, I can't stop thinking about it. And my mother walks in from the kitchen and says, what's wrong, honey? And I said, God damn it! Son of a bitch. That piece of shit got more favorites than I did!
God damn it!
That's my time. I'm gonna let you comment.
That was the shit.
I would have also accepted booty.
Thank you.
I'll take any comments, constructive criticism.
Honestly, that was the shit works really well. Your punch-up was spot on.
Thank you.
Adding what you did to the story made that story work, even though it was the last thing I wanted to hear. You kept me engaged. I never wanted to hear that story, and I didn't want you to stop telling it.
I did.
No, every once in a while you can get somebody who goes up there and makes you uncomfortable but still keeps it funny. That was a very fine line you toted. I will say, in my opinion, you actually walked it, and I was impressed. That was good.
It's like when you see a picture of poop on the internet, sometimes you gotta know.
Thank you. Thank you. Sit down. Okay, what is our time frame here?
So we have 6 minutes. We have time for one more if they stick to time.
Okay, one more. Ladies and gentlemen, one more.
Gina.
What?
Gina.
Who?
Gina.
Yeah, Yina. Whoever the hell he's pointing at, get up here. Oh, wait, you got a top hat. Yeah, go to, yeah, you.
Ah.
Yes, you.
Is that, are you really? Is this how I got my start? Do I
Yes.
go top hat?
Here,
My top hat's bigger.
shove this into your mouth.
Damn it, Sam.
Oh, sorry.
Get it, girl.
The chosen one.
You have 3 minutes. How can I introduce you?
I am Nix. And
Let's go for it.
okay, so my story's a little bit different. This happened at around 11:30 after staying up for approximately 48 hours. Now, mind you, I had just been to a pride parade that took the entire day and at least a mile and a half of walking in June. So I was pretty exhausted, right? I'm gonna set this down real quick. And, I decided to stay over at a friend's house for the night because I was too tired to go home and just, be alone. So I stay over at my friend's house, and her mom says, hey, can you go out and run to the store? So, of course, we go.
And being the rambunctious teenagers we are, we decided we really didn't want to go back for about half an hour. So we're running around the store, causing a little bit of mayhem. Nothing got broken, but a lot of people stared at us. So we eventually get what she asked for and went back. So we decided, you know what, we don't want to be cooped up in this apartment forever. So we go back to the exact same store, exact same place. People are looking at us like, oh no, it's these two again. And we walk around. Now, I'm just giggling at everything. Something just kicked me right in the giggle dick, and I just could not stop laughing. And I was just walking around, giggling like I was wasted, even though I'm only 16. Now, we're looking for something very specific, right? What's the best thing to keep me up at about 11:30 at night with 48 hours and no sleep? Whipped cream. Now, we're walking around, and we really don't want to go home, so we stall for the longest time. We eventually make it over towards, the deli section. There's like cold cuts and stuff. And we see this guy, and he's, opening one of the doors, and we see this cart, and I don't think much of it until he walks away. I look over into this cart thinking, hey, maybe it's a reshelf cart, maybe they got stuff on clearance. I kid you not, it was filled with nothing but wine bottles and a single bag of cat food. My friend, of course, being a cat furry, grabs the cart and says, here's my order, time to go. Now, I stop her, of course, because, I don't want to break the rules. And we're walking around, we eventually get to the dairy aisle. And I pick out my whipped cream, and all's good. And by then, we've already had, we have a container of lemonade and a couple boxes of cookies, because we were going to munch out and, be sugar addicts for the night. And we get there, and, all of a sudden, I hear my friend chuckle. I look over at her, and she says, put everything down. Everything on the floor now. I'm panicking. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? So I slowly bend down, and I set down the cookies and the lemonade. And I'm terrified at this point. My heart is racing. I'm sweating. I don't know what she's about to do. She looks me dead in the eyes, points, and without hesitation says, protein nut milk. And I proceeded to fall on the floor laughing. That's it. I have photo proof of both of these things, by the way.
Here we go. Not only was that a lot of fun, not only was that great, there was a gem at the beginning that some of you might have missed. Basically evidence of native talent. You got up here, your hat fell down. What did you say?
The chosen one.
Something happened that wasn't expected, wasn't in the script. You rolled with it, you made it part of the show. That is a sign of a true comic. And my hat is off to you.
I will say this, my favorite moment is Uncle Kage leaning over to me. He's like, oh my God, look at the badge. And it took me a second. And as I said, oh, that's a minor, you said the word giggle dick. So that just made my convention.
What's worse is her mother's in the audience.
This is Afterlife Show. He runs this. He is responsible for everything that happens. As is Beardo over here.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you what. Afterlife, you take over because I really gotta fucking pee.
Sorry, thank you.
Before we end, I want to leave you all with one thing. Don't forget, open mic is a very glorious and beautiful thing. There are open mics happening at bars all around the country, but more importantly, there are open mics at almost every convention that I go to, almost every convention that he goes to. We're trying to bring them back to the fandom. Guys, if you see an open mic and you want to have a chance, this is your chance to get up on stage, show us what you can do, and never forget, we are the furry fandom. You will never have a better audience in the history of the world. Guys, thank you so much for sharing your comedic talents. And here next is the Dragon Show Live. Thank you to Chris the Comedy Buddy, Uncle Kage, Citrian. My name is Zachary. Thank you very much.
coffee. Silver Gatoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gatoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.